In the deep south of Venezuela, where the Amazon rainforest stretches endlessly toward the horizon, there exists a landscape so ancient and surreal that it feels detached from modern time. This is Canaima National Park, a vast protected wilderness shaped not by centuries, but by billions of years. Here, colossal tabletop mountains known as tepuis rise vertically from the jungle floor. Their cliffs are sheer, dark, and imposing. Their summits are flat, isolated worlds suspended above the forest canopy. Geologists believe these formations began forming nearly 2 billion years ago, long before dinosaurs, long before human memory. They're among the oldest exposed rock formations on Earth. At dawn, Canaima is wrapped in mist. Clouds drift low across lagoons, stained red by mineral-rich waters. The first rays of sunlight pierce through layers of vapor, illuminating the cliffs in shades of gold and amber. Everything feels suspended. Then, from the summit of Aujan Tepui, water begins its descent. This is Angel Falls, the tallest uninterrupted waterfall on the planet. For nearly 1 kilometer, water plunges freely through open air, so high that much of it transforms into vapor before ever reaching the ground. What appears from a distance as a silver thread becomes, up close, a living column of sound and wind. The roar does not simply echo, it resonates. It vibrates through stone and skin alike. During the rainy season, the falls thunder with unstoppable force, a continuous cascade crashing into the jungle below. In the dry months, the stream narrows, delicate and ethereal, like silk unraveling from the sky. Standing at its base, human scale dissolves. The waterfall does not merely fall, it commands space. Not far from this spectacle lies another geological monument, Mount Roraima, positioned at the meeting point of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. Mount Roraima rises like a fortress carved by time itself. Its vertical walls soar hundreds of meters high, guarding a plateau that feels more alien than terrestrial. On its summit, wind-carved stone sculptures stand in silence. Pools of rainwater collect in ancient depressions. Unique plant species, some found nowhere else on Earth, thrive in isolation. Mist blankets the plateau most days, reducing visibility and amplifying mystery. The silence here is profound. No engines, no distant city hum, only wind gliding across stone. Walking across Roraima's summit feels like stepping beyond Earth's familiar narrative. It is raw geology, untouched by the rush of civilization. Here, time does not pass. It accumulates, leaving the ancient highlands behind. Venezuela reveals a dramatically different face along its northern coast. The Caribbean Sea stretches wide and luminous. Turquoise waters meet shores of white sand that shimmer under tropical sun. Gentle waves roll rhythmically, creating a steady pulse that defines life along the coast. Morning arrives quietly here. Fishing boats drift away from shore as the horizon begins to glow. Salt fills the air. The ocean reflects the rising sun in scattered flashes of silver light. By afternoon, the sky becomes a canvas of brilliant blue. Coral reefs beneath the surface shelter vibrant marine life. Small islands dot the coastline, many uninhabited, preserving a sense of untouched serenity. As evening approaches, the transformation begins. The sun lowers slowly, painting the sky in gradients of orange, crimson, and deep violet. The Caribbean sunset in Venezuela is unhurried. It lingers. It deepens. It reflects upon the water like liquid fire. Children run across warm sand. Music drifts from seaside homes. Laughter blends seamlessly with the sound of waves. Further inland, nestled within a mountain ring valley, lies the nation's capital, Caracas. Caracas is energy condensed. Unlike the silence of the tepuis or the calm of the sea, this city breathes in rhythm with movement. Streets fill early with vendors preparing fresh fruit and strong coffee. Markets burst with color. Murals stretch across concrete walls, narrating stories of identity and resilience. The mountains surrounding Caracas rise dramatically, forming a natural barrier between city and sea. From certain vantage points, the skyline glows beneath a curtain of green slopes. The city carries history within its architecture. Colonial buildings stand beside modern towers. Plazas host musicians and dancers. Art and sound spill into public spaces without invitation. Caracas is not polished perfection. It is real, layered, vibrant. At night, city lights shimmer like constellations scattered across the valley floor. Traffic hums. Conversations echo from balconies. Somewhere, a guitar plays softly against the rhythm of urban life. It is here that nature and humanity coexist in constant dialogue. To the southwest, the terrain shifts once more. The Llanos' vast tropical grasslands extend outward like a golden ocean. During the rainy season, rivers overflow and transform the plains into shallow wetlands. Thousands of birds gather. Herons, ibis, scarlet flocks crossing the sky in fluid formation. Capybaras cluster near water's edge. Caimans lie motionless, eyes barely above the surface. Life thrives in cycles dictated by water. When the dry season arrives, the landscape changes dramatically. The earth cracks under intense sun. Grass turns amber. Herds of cattle and wild horses move slowly across open terrain, stirring dust beneath expansive skies. The horizon here feels infinite. There are no skyscrapers to interrupt the view, no walls to frame perspective. Only wind moving freely across kilometers of open land. The Llanos represent nature in its most elemental form: survival, migration, rhythm. Further west, elevation begins to rise. The Andes Mountains enter Venezuelan territory, bringing cooler air and dramatic scenery. Mist clings to slopes in the early morning. Roads curve along steep ridges. Small villages perch above valleys wrapped in cloud. From higher elevations, the world below appears softened and distant. The mountains carry a quiet authority, not as ancient as the tepuis, but equally commanding. Farmers tend crops on terraced hillsides. Church bells echo across valleys. The pace of life slows. Sunset in the Andes differs from the coast. Here, light fades gradually into pale lavender and deep indigo. Peaks glow briefly before surrendering to shadow. As night falls across the entire nation, from rainforest to plain, from sea to summit, the sky fills with stars, unpolluted by artificial glare. In that darkness, Venezuela feels whole, a country of contrasts, ancient stone and moving water, restless city and silent plateau, ocean horizon and mountain crest. It is not defined by a single landscape, but by the dialogue between them all. Venezuela is not simply a destination, it is a reminder of scale, of time, of the overwhelming beauty that exists when Earth is left to shape itself, and when dawn rises once more over the tepuis, over the Caribbean, over the plains and mountains. The cycle continues, unrushed, unapologetic, eternal.